us today. We are going to be looking at Parshat Vayeishev this morning, and I have something very powerful that I would like to share with you. We start off with source 1. If you are on my Facebook page, you will notice the source sheet is attached into the comments section. And if you're watching this via the YouTube video later, the text sheet was sent out with the weekly shul email. Take a look in the first box. The Torah describes the following. Vayeishev Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv be'eretz Canaan. Yaakov settled down in the land where his fathers had stayed, in the land of Canaan. Eila toldot Yaakov. These are the generations of Yaakov. Yosef ben Sheva Asrei Shana. Yosef was 17 years old. Haya ro'eh et achav b'tzon. He was a shepherd tending with his flocks together with his brothers. V'hu na'a. And he was a teenager. It's amazing. I'd already said he was 17 years old. Why say he was a teenager? Screams out that phrase. Et b'nei Bilcha, et b'nei Zilpa. He was a teenager together with his father's wives, Bilha and Zilpa. Yosef et dibatam ra'a el avihem. And Yosef brought bad reports about them to their father. It's fascinating. We have Yosef described as a 17-year-old and a teenager. And the sense there is he's caught up in doing youthful, silly, immature behaviors. Midrash will actually go on to say how it all has to do with a sense of his looks. He's doing his hair, he's curling his eyelashes, he's turning on his heels. There's a great sense of the aesthetic to Yosef. Now, this is not for now, but the connection of Yosef and Hanukkah and aestheticism and beauty is a very, very big subject. We're going to push that to one side for the moment, because here we come to the crux of what I want to get to. Verse 3, V'Yisrael achav et Yosef mikol banav. Yisrael, meaning Jacob, loved Yosef more than any of the other brothers. Ki ben zakunim hula, because he was a child to him in his old age. Va'asa lo katonet pasim, so he makes for him a coat of many colors, as Andrew Lloyd Webber likes to translate that phrase. V'yu echav ki oto achav avihem mikol echav. When the brothers saw that it was him who was loved more than any of the other brothers, v'yisnu oto, they hated him. V'lo yachlu dabru leshalom. And they could not speak a friendly word with him. The brothers hate Yosef. And it's those last 4 words that I would like to focus on. V'lo yachlu dabru leshalom. Here, this is the Aryeh Kaplan translation from his book. This is the JPS translation. They could not speak a friendly word to him. We're going to see that there's more than one way to translate those words. V'lo yachlu dabru l'shalom. They could not speak a friendly word to him. What does that mean? V'lo yachlu, if we translate it literally, v'lo yachlu, they were not able, dabru l'shalom, to speak to peace. They were not able to speak to peace. Rashi, we'll take a look at Rashi as our starting point, says as follows. This is on your text sheet, text 2. V'lo yachlu dabru l'shalom, mitoch gununatam lamdu shibcham. Through their discredit, we can actually learn something of their praise. Shalu dabru achat b'peh ve'achat balev. Because they didn't speak one thing with their mouths and another thing in their hearts. Fascinating. Rashi, quoting the Midrash, says, you can learn the praise of the brothers through this. It's an amazing thing. We are always searching for the good. We are always trying to find some grain of hope, of positivity. They did a terrible thing, and we're going to learn something good about them. What does Rashi want to learn from this phrase? They couldn't speak to him peacefully. Why? Because they were amazing. They didn't want to be two-faced. They didn't want to harbor a hatred in their hearts. And yet, hi, how you doing? We love you. You're so great. No. So what did they do? They didn't speak to him at all. They said nothing. They could not speak to him peacefully. And as a result of that, they were actually being authentic. They harbored resentment and animosity to him in their hearts. And they either said nothing to him, or maybe they even let it be known to him that they hated him because they didn't speak to him to peace. Now, there's two ways that you can understand that. Maybe they actually were mean to him. Maybe they spoke to him disparagingly. Maybe they spoke to him in a way that revealed their animosity. Or maybe they were just silent. It's not clear from Rashi one way or the other. Hold that in mind. We're going to come back to that. I'd like to look at the Sforno. Sforno, 14th century Italian commentator, doctor, genius, and one of the classic beloved commentaries on the Torah. Take a look, text 3. V'lo yachlu dabru l'shalom. Even though the brothers had to speak to Yosef pertaining to their business dealings, both concerning the home as well as concerning the herds and the flocks. And this was something imposed upon them by their father's command. Nevertheless, when it came to voluntary aspects of speech, they didn't speak to him at all concerning any private matters, any brotherly concerns. I don't know if you have ever had a work colleague that you can't stand, or maybe a business partner, maybe even a distant family member, where a committee member, whatever the case may be, there's someone that just grates on you. They get under your skin. What is the level of conversation that we have with such people? It's perfunctory. It's superficial surface level. It is all business-like. It's professional. We might even speak to them a lot, but it's on a professional level. There's no endearment. There's no sense of building trust. There's no sense of building a likability with these people. Why? I can't stand them. Get me out of their presence. I've got to do what I've got to do. And as soon as I'm not in front of them, I'm not calling them up to speak about my day. I'm not on the phone with them saying, guess what? You're not going to believe what happened. Or tell me what's going on with your life. Why? V'lo dabru l'shalom, because I don't want to speak about peaceful matters. I don't want to speak about personal matters. I'm not going to be speaking about things of a casual nature with them. I have to speak to them. I'll be polite with them. There's certainly a sense of menschlichkeit to it. But closeness, feelings of endearment, love, never going to happen. That, says the Sforno, was Yosef's relationship with the brothers. The brothers were all business, no pleasure. They hated him. And as a result, spoke to him about what they had to, but nothing more. Fascinating. Do you know people like that? Are you somebody like that? Very interesting. I want to go deeper because I believe at the heart of this story, and specifically those words, "V'lo yachlu dabru l'shalom," the brothers were not able to speak peacefully with Yosef. There is a springboard that the Torah is giving us, allowing us to dive into the depth of human psychology. What happens when you don't like someone? And this is all of us. There are rare, unique, precious individuals that like everybody. This is all of us. It's speaking to the common man and woman on the street, speaking to you and me. What happens when you don't like somebody? You stop communicating with them. And when you stop communicating with them, you can't speak to them to a point of peacefulness. animosity grows and builds within a person's heart. The Ramban will claim, taking a look at the verse, this isn't on our source sheet, but that famous command in Vayikra 19, don't hate your brother in your heart. Ramban says, usually when someone hates their brother in their heart, they don't speak about it, and an animosity grows within their heart. What's the antidote to that animosity? How do we face and actually engage with people that we are frustrated by, people that grate on our nerves, get under our skin? And for this, I would like to turn to the Rambam. Maimonides says something of incredible depth that we all need to hear today. It's so necessary in our world. This comes from Hilchot Deot of the Mishnah Torah, the Rambam's famous laws of character traits. Yes, it's true. There's laws that tell us how to eat, how to keep Shabbat, how to put a mezuzah on our door, and all of those laws are part of the Torah. Guess what else is a part of our tradition? How to behave as a human being, what character traits we should have. So important in an area of our lives, of our Judaism, and Maimonides codifies this for us. And it comes to the laws in chapter 6. I didn't put chapter 6. This is chapter 6, halacha 6. What happens when you don't like someone? It's amazing. The Torah doesn't say be an angel and you should get along with everyone. The Torah says, what happens when someone's annoying? So humane, so earthly, it's so real. What happens when someone's annoying? When someone hurts you? Let's go deep. What happens when someone actually does something that hurts you? How should you respond? What should your behavior be? Maimonides says as follows, Rambam Hilchot Deot, Kashyachta ish le'ish lo yistamenu v'yishtok. When one person hurts another, the one to whom they have suffered should not remain silent in a state of hatred against the other. Rather, mitzvah alav lahodir v'lomar lo lama asita li kach v'kach v'lama chatata li b'davar ploni. Speak to that person. Why did you hurt me? Why did you do such a thing to me? Why did you sin against me? Why did you behave in a way, X, Y, Z, whatever it is? You've got to speak to the other person, call them out on it. Now, not in a gotcha kind of way, because that's not going to be productive. That's not going to achieve the desired result. What is the end goal that we are hoping for in this? To be able to then forgive the person for the thing that they did bad against you. Because as Maimonides goes on, the purpose of this is so that the person can then turn around and say, you know what, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for acting in such a way. And by expressing that forgiveness, the person will remove the hatred from their hearts. This is a fabulously different way of looking at this passage. This is an amazing idea. What Maimonides is